Canucks, a big surprise here, the way they've come off this COVID break for them. 4 goals on 9 shots in the third period, one of them into an empty net, but when David Rittich was in net, that was trouble too.
Look, he had a bad night. There's no sugarcoating it. He had a very bad night, and as a result, the Maple Leafs lost this particular game. You know, there were a couple goals here that he's going to look at, and he's going to say, I needed to have them back. And, you know, Campbell was on his run. Anderson was hurt. And now I think people are going to start to look and say, okay, what's Anderson's situation here? And, you know, the word is he's getting better, he's getting closer, but there's also the salary cap issue of whether or not they're going to be able to activate him, pending what goes around with all the injury situations that Toronto's got. But all of a sudden, you know, Anderson's potential return is looming larger because they need some stability in goal. They're not getting it right now.
Meanwhile, listen, the Leafs scored a shorthanded goal. They scored a power play goal, so special teams were doing pretty well so far in this one. But when you look at the defensive zone coverage, Anthony, what was the key issue there for Toronto?
Well, I think they really did not a great job in boxing out, and that's one of the details that comes in crucial, especially during the playoffs, especially when the goaltending's struggling. You got to find a way to insulate them, and just getting sticks and getting man in front. Kevin Bieksa talks about it all the time. Look at these free rein in front of the net, not a cross check, not a bump. They're just standing there sort of watching, being a little bit like passengers. So it's a little detail that makes a big difference, especially in the playoffs now. We're talking about winning a Stanley Cup, going against the big bad Islanders, teams like that too. So it's a small detail that makes a big difference. You have to find a way to get a piece of the body, a piece of the stick, something. It's just too easy to play against, and I think it's going to really hurt them going down the line if they don't shore up this detail.
And you know what, guys? The ice was tilted on Sunday for the Canucks' first game. I mean, the Leafs should have won that game. They played well enough to win that game. This was much more even. And remember, the Canucks are just coming back from this COVID break. Couldn't have been going any better for them.
What a 48 to 72 hour period for them. I mean, all the news around the Canucks was this kind of stuff you didn't want. The COVID outbreak, JT Miller speaking out to make sure the schedule got held back a couple of days. You know, we talked about it in the pregame. From a betting point of view, David, the Canucks on Sunday night were the biggest home underdog in the NHL in 15 years.
Unbelievable.
And they came back to win that game. And what did Sheldon Keefe talk about in the pregame tonight? Getting a lead and Toronto holding on to it. And again, Toronto got a lead and they couldn't hold on to it. It's an incredible performance by Vancouver. A lot of players really elevating their games. And, you know, it almost seems unbelievable to say, but you said it earlier, they've got a shot here if they can keep it going.
They have a shot. They've beaten the Leafs 4 straight times, and now they begin a pivotal 4-game series, essentially, with the Ottawa Senators as they try and pull some momentum together and get back into the playoff picture. For the Toronto Maple Leafs, a much different story. They head off to Winnipeg. They play back-to-back against the Jets.